With the launch of Galaxy S26 Ultra and S26 Plus, and these phones getting at least one update, it is time to see which one of these 2026 flagship phones has a better battery life. On the table, we have OnePlus 15, the iPhone 17 Pro Max, Galaxy S26 Plus Exynos Edition, Galaxy S26 Ultra, Xiaomi 17 Ultra, vivo X300 Pro, and Pixel 10 Pro. Before we start the battery test, I ran a quick Geekbench to test the performance of the phones. OnePlus Galaxy S26 Ultra and Xiaomi 17 Ultra are all sporting a Snapdragon 880 Generation 5. The Galaxy has a higher clock rate though. The iPhone 17 Pro Max is sporting A19 Pro, the S26 Plus Exynos 2600, vivo X300 Pro running on Dimensity 9500, and Pixel is sporting Tensor G5. Galaxy S26 Plus chipset is the only one made in Samsung Foundry, all the others are made by TSMC. In single core, the iPhone 17 Pro Max got the best score, followed by Galaxy S26 Ultra, then OnePlus 15. The worst result was for the Galaxy S26 Plus and Pixel 10 Pro XL. In multi-core, the best score was the Galaxy S26 Ultra, followed by Galaxy S26 Plus, then OnePlus 15, and Vivo were close. The worst score was for Pixel 10 Pro XL. Next, I did put all phones on manual brightness and set the brightness to the same level using a lux meter. All of them are connected to Wi-Fi without being connected to a mobile network. And just note that One UI on Galaxy does show antenna lines even when there is no SIM card in the phones. I ran YouTube Shorts for around 2.5 hours. The test is very light and the phones use minimal amount of battery, something around 1 watt. That's why sometimes you see people getting crazy amount of screen on time because they're watching videos all day. By the end of it, the OnePlus left with 92%, iPhone 91%, the S26 Plus 85%, the Ultra 87%, Xiaomi 88%, Vivo 93%, and Pixel 86%. For the next test, I did run the camera app to record a 4K video at 30 frames per second for around 2 hours. This test is heavier because video processing and capturing is a heavy task since it needs a lot of computational power. By the end of the test, the Galaxy S26 Ultra has the lowest number of 48%. The other phones are around 50 to 60% battery left, while OnePlus is clearly above the rest with 64% battery. The OnePlus having a larger battery capacity here is helping it a lot. Interestingly, all phones on the table are more or less weighing the same, despite having a huge disparity in battery capacity, and that's because Samsung, iPhone, and Pixel are not using silicon carbide batteries. Therefore, they are heavy despite having a low battery capacity. iPhone is 233 grams and Galaxy is 214 grams. That's why I use ultra slim fiber cases from Alumu, the sponsor of today's video. It is only 27 grams for Galaxy and only 29 grams for iPhone. The case design is gorgeous and minimalist. It is ultra slim and only adds 1.2 mm to the phone. They are using aerospace grade aramid fiber material in this case. Even though it is so slim, it still protects the right places with slightly raised protection around the camera area and also a slight elevation for the screen. I personally use this kind of minimalistic cases for ages on my phones and never ever had a broken screen. But if you really want to be safe, go for the S26 Ultra Frosted Glow case. It does look like a normal case in daylight, but when it gets dark, it glows like a UFO. The case is also rather slim, has a good amount of protection, a nice cutout, and a very grippy sides. I'll put the link to the cases in the description, and thanks to Alumu for sponsoring this video. For the next test, I did turn off all phones and went to sleep so they stay on standby. By the time I woke up, OnePlus was still ahead, having 63% battery left, while Galaxy S26 Ultra unfortunately went to 43% and is now 7% lower than S26 Plus. For the next test, I did ask all phones to talk to each other via Google Meet. This is the heaviest task of all using around 5 watts, almost 5 times more than YouTube Shorts test, since phones should encode and decode videos while downloading and uploading them. Right now, the OnePlus is way ahead of others with 46% battery left. iPhone 17 Pro Max is second with 34%. The Vivo is at 30%, and other phones are between 16 to 20% battery left. To drain the batteries to zero, I kept the Google Meet connection on while playing aquarium in the background with 500 fish. I'm slightly disappointed with the S26 Ultra battery, but it is not quite a surprise since it has almost the lowest battery capacity among the other phones on this table. It is not performing as well as S26 Plus even, and that part was a little bit surprising to me. S26 Plus is slightly smaller and that helps a bit. Of course, if we would have put a SIM card on these phones, we could have seen a different result considering the potential modem efficiency. Finally, at 7 hours and 28 minutes, the Galaxy S26 Ultra was the first phone to leave the chat. It quickly followed by Pixel 10 Pro XL that left the chat at 7 hours and 35 minutes. Then it was Xiaomi 17 Ultra's turn with 7 hours and 46 minutes. I'm also disappointed in Xiaomi 17 Ultra a bit since I'm using the Chinese variant here, and despite having a massive battery capacity, it is not performing that much better than conventional phones like Pixel and Galaxy. What is surprising to me is that S26 Plus is still going. It did push close to 8 hours, it died at 7 hours and 56 minutes. I should also say that different tests give you different results. For example, last time I ran a test, the Vivo got a better result than iPhone, but here the Vivo left the chat at 8 hours and 38 minutes, while iPhone left the chat at 8 hours and 49 minutes. OnePlus is clearly the winner of the test, and other phones are not even close to it. It did continue for another hour and a half, an insane amount of energy was left in the battery, and finally died at 10 hours and 23 minutes. So at last place we have S26 Ultra. I really like this phone, but unfortunately I have to admit it doesn't give you the best autonomy. I also personally experienced it when I was using the phone, same as Pixel 10 Pro XL that got the 6th place. The phone has a 5200 mAh battery, but it is not even close to what Chinese phones offer these days. For some reason, the Xiaomi 17 Ultra, which got the 5th place, also doesn't give the best battery results. I also experienced that when I was testing it, I did have more expectations considering the battery capacity. The S26 Plus punched above its weight, and despite having the smallest battery among all Android phones here, it lasted longer than 3 other phones, and that's great news. The Vivo X300 Pro is obviously giving you better autonomy compared to Pixel, Xiaomi and Galaxy. I already purchased the Vivo X300 Ultra and I'm going to compare the Vivo X300 Pro to Ultra soon, so stay tuned not to miss that video. Then we have the iPhone 17 Pro Max that despite having the smallest battery capacity got the 2nd place. The eSIM only version could perform even better. Finally, the OnePlus 15 is simply another leak. It is one of my favorite phones this year, and I do recommend getting it for folks that wanna save a bit money, but having a better battery performance for their phone. I also did a battery test of these phones in their smaller form factor. If you wanna see that video, you can watch this video next. Thanks for tuning into Techmo, and I will see you in the next one.